If you feel like you've tried every single thing as a freelance writer and you're still struggling and stuck and overwhelmed, this video is for you. I'm Mandy Ellis. I built a six-figure freelance writing business, and now I help other freelance writers build five-figure months with dream clients without the burnout, stress, and overwhelm. Number one thing here, number one thing, if you've been stuck or struggling, you're not really building in root confidence. Let me talk about this. So, a lot of times when you are working on a strategy or a course or a new framework, you end up getting this sugar high confidence. You get little bits of wins here and there, $200 here, a small client here, but you're not actually incorporating those wins into yourself. You're not paying attention to the improvement in your writing ability. You're not working on how you actually talk to clients on calls and using that intel from those calls to put that into a better blueprint or framework for your next call. You are getting stuck in negotiations. You're not actually building confidence, or you're not actually incorporating the wins into your personality of the times that you've, quote unquote, won or created a win-win negotiation. You are really stuck on pricing, right? You might be someone who keeps spinning over and over again on pricing. You're not actually getting to the root of why you're struggling with pricing in the first place, or why you feel like your work is not valuable, or why you work for your clients versus with your clients, right? A partnership versus working for them. And I think a lot of times when you lack that belief, or you end up feeling like nothing works, you're not actually building the deep down root confidence. You're really trying to get all of these outside things to make you feel good on the inside, but instead of incorporating all the wins that you're getting, those things, you just keep moving the target. So you're like, well, yeah, I negotiated $100 more, but I didn't do this. Oh yeah, this time I asked a few more questions on a client call and got better answers, but I didn't take notes, and I don't know how to do that for the next step of talking to higher up clients. Or my work is only good enough for low paying clients because that's all I've done. Or, oh, I have to focus on my writing ability so much so that any client who sees my writing will just be like overwhelmed with trying to hire me because it's just so great. That's just not how it works. I think a lot of times when I'm seeing students, especially when it comes to Freelance Writer Wealth Lab students, they're kind of stuck in this loop of, and then I need to do this, and then that. They're not actually paying attention to all of these things that we're working on, right? These things that you actually have to incorporate in your personality that actually build that deep down root level confidence. This is kind of the transformation that I end up seeing with my students as they come in and they're struggling and they're stuck, they're overwhelmed, they feel like they're not doing a good job, they feel like their writing isn't good enough. They don't understand how to talk to high paying clients, and they use that for analysis paralysis, or imposter syndrome, or self doubt, or self flagellation, or some kind of roadblock. Instead of taking all the things they've done and being like, wait a minute, I can do this. Wait, I have done this. And then really starting to look at the good things they've done and using that to start building out the roots of their confidence. So when you are working with someone, or you're working on your business, or you're taking a course, you should be able to see that you are building root level confidence. And you can see that in their students. You can see the students who have talked about going from struggling or overwhelmed to actually building real confidence, feeling like they are their clients' equal, or that they know how to talk to clients on calls. They know who's a fit for them and who's not. They know how to improve their writing but not beat themselves up, all that good stuff. Number two here, they're not focusing on faster. So this is something that I see a lot with students coming into Freelance Writer Wealth Lab. Oh, I just need to write faster. That's how I'll make more money. I'll write faster. But then they're struggling with this idea of balance and success. So they think if they just do stuff faster, that will create balance. And that's the exact opposite. So a lot of times when they're coming in, they're focusing on writing speed. They want to focus on, hey, I just need to write faster. And give me a thumbs up if someone told you, oh, the only way to earn money is to write faster, or you need to write faster or else you're not going to make money. Give me a thumbs up if you've ever heard that. I definitely have heard that. I am a slow snail. I am the slowest writer out of all my friends. Still I am the slowest. And I don't think that writing faster is the only way or the way to make more money. You should be focusing on your version of balance and success. So what that means is developing a schedule or a set of strategies that you incorporate into your business every single day to make progress. Or You need to be working towards a certain set of goals that are the life you actually want to live, not just like, oh, I need to make more money, so I need to do these two things. It's not about that. This is something that I think a lot of people struggle with. And this is why I really focus on long-term sustainability in your business. And if that is attractive to you, if that's something that you want to talk more about, I have a free masterclass coming up in September in just a couple weeks. I'm going to be sharing more about that shortly. But if you want to be the first to hear about the free live masterclass with me in September, make sure to grab my free seasoned veteran cheat sheet. If you go to mandyellis.com/cheat sheet, you can grab it. And you'll be the first one to know. And it will give you specific steps on how to build your confidence, but also how you can start balancing things for success, your version of success, the type of schedule that you want, the types of clients, versus being like, I just have to do everything faster. Faster only leads you to burnout, overwhelm, and stress. Doing things faster doesn't mean that you're going to see the hours that you want to work. It doesn't mean you're going to see the clients you want to work. It doesn't mean that you can speed up the process of clients responding to LOIs or responding to emails or getting paid faster. It doesn't mean any of that. We want to focus on really what we're looking for. We want to focus on the things like I talk about the pre-filtering process. So I talk about how we actually look at our clients, combing lists, actually understanding their revenue ranges, looking at our LOI spreadsheet in depth so that we know what to look for and hone that ability. And then that takes less time and effort. So now we have a better balance of moving more towards the success we want, but also a better balance in our schedule, because the more that you can hone these few abilities, this pre-filtering process that I talk about, or the tuning fork technique that I talk about, and the new pair of glasses, the more that you can do those things, like the new pair, like identifying clients, being able to talk to clients on calls and understand their language and speak to them, and the pre-filtering process of sending your LOIs, your letters of introduction, to the right clients, that will end up being a honed process that takes less and less effort and time over time. And then you have time to spend on other things without having to force yourself to work faster, basically for no reason. Okay, next thing I want to talk about, number three. Yeah, number three. Number three, what you want to think about too is like, you don't need to be sleazy or salesy, or you don't have to be good at selling. This is something that I think kills a lot of confidence with writers, is they're like, well, I don't know how to sell myself. What's my USP, my unique selling proposition or point? And I just think that's not the goal. The goal is to ask if someone needs help. The first thing that you're doing with any marketing is like, do you need help? That is like the most human way to reach a client. Do you need help? I can help you. Rather than feeling like you have to go in there and be pushy or salesy, or you feel like you have to do X, Y, and Z in order to raise your rates, or you have to convince them with 2, 3, and 4 points. This is something where I often talk to my students, my Wealth Lab students. I'm walking them step by step through examples of how to set up their LinkedIn and set up their website. Like, I'm showing them, here's before and after of my Wealth Lab students, so you can see what their copy looked like before and after going through these steps to attract those diamond clients, those dream clients. So you're getting that so that by the time someone reads your website and LinkedIn and then reaches out to you, or you send an LOI and someone goes and reads your LinkedIn or your website, they're already pre-sold on working with you. So then going in and asking, what do you need help with? Or kind of walk me through, what's going on with the project? What's your timeline? What's your budget? That's already a softer feeling because they've already been convinced by the copy that you wrote in your website and your LinkedIn. So instead of feeling like you have to have a marketer's personality to do this, which you don't, you have to think about it more as like, I would like to help people with content or copy. That's it. That's where I really feel like instead of focusing on like selling or sales funnels or all that stuff, you need to focus on the idea that, do you want to help people with copy and content? Great. You're already in the ballgame. And having kind of that service oriented, like, I'm going to help my clients, that's where you can actually really make a difference for your clients, versus feeling like, oh, I have to convince them to get this package and I have to convince them to go do this, and then now that I'm on the call I have to go do that, and then it makes the relationship kind of weird, because then do you have to keep doing that, right? Do you have to keep doing that as you work with them? It's like the relationship changes if you goes from like sales mode to like work mode. It's a little weird. So you don't have to have that marketer's personality, but what I really want you to kind of pay attention to is, do you need help? That should be your overarching thing because that's something that I think a lot of writers miss. It's the most simple thing. It is something that almost every writer wants to help with that, right? And that could be helping a magazine like, hey, I want to help you write more content about this topic because I think it's important for people to read about and it's important to your audience. It could be something like helping someone with content strategy and helping people outline a plan. It could be helping people with thought leadership and getting their voice out there because you feel like that client's voice needs to be shared more often. There's a whole bunch of things that writers just skip instead of like believing in themselves, instead of believing that they can help someone, instead of remembering that you're there to help with copy and content. You're there to share ideas, you're there to really help your clients and also do some good work. You're like, oh my gosh, I have to sell them on the blah, blah, blah. You can do that. You can totally ask if they need help. This is one of the biggest transformations that I see with my Wealth Lab students, is going from this fear of selling or being sleazy or gross with their marketing to actually understanding that marketing with their personality and asking if someone needs help, those things go together like peanut butter and jelly, and they work really well for converting clients. So if you feel like this has been helpful so far, if you feel like that tip specifically was helpful, make sure to subscribe. We talk more about marketing. We talk more about doing things ethically, and asking our clients if you need help, and doing all this good stuff. So make sure you subscribe. Number 4, is that what we're on? Sometimes I forget because I get so excited about talking about this. Number 4. Okay. You don't need 100 clips or 100,000 clients. This is something that I think saps freelance writers of their ability to move forward. It puts them into fear and scarcity. It makes them feel like they're never going to be good enough. It makes them feel like they're an imposter. It makes them feel like, why am I, oh my gosh, there's so many writers. There's no room for me. It's already saturated. No, 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 no. I really want you to remember that I have had students, and I started this too. Number one, I started from square one with zero things. We all started with 0 clips, 0 clients, 0 experience. Every single freelance writer who you look up to started with nothing. So you don't need 10,000 things. And I've also, this is common stories I tell. I've had students with no writing experience at all come in and get their first clips and their first high paid clients, like ongoing clients. I've had that. There have been many writers who have gotten their very first writing clip without any writing experience in the New York Times, Travel and Leisure, Condé Nast, Boston Globe, Wall Street Journal, all the top publications, Guardian. There have been people who their very first clip came from a top magazine. This isn't about you having the most magical idea or you having the perfect thing. This is about confidence. This is about building your ability to believe that, hey, I could go out and do these things. I know exactly how to do it. I know exactly how to send a pitch. I know how to reach out to this magazine. I'm putting these things together, that I know like the strategy to put pieces in place. It's not about having all the clips and the clients to like verify all the credibility. It's really understanding like what makes this magazine tick or what makes this client tick, and then having the confidence to reach out. And I really this is something too that I think about. If you're someone who is side hustling or leaving a full-time job or starting from zero, or someone who has been struggling at a certain point in your business as a freelance writer, you should be trying to get as close to your diamond clients and dream clients as possible from the start. So the earlier you can start that, the better. That's what you want. You don't want to have 100 clips and clients and then be like, now it's time for the blue whale clients. No, this is something that I think a lot of writers have this misconception that they need to earn their stripes. They need to crawl through these very tiny, little tiny rate raises. Oh, well, I went from 50 cents a word to 70 cents, and now it's this. Like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to work with red light clients, with red flag clients. I call them red lights. You can start working with top level clients, and you should. This is actually to your benefit. So if you don't have as much experience, that's good. You want to start with these higher level clients. You don't want to go through all of the slog of the bad clients and then be like, oh, it's finally time for good clients. No, you should be like these people who are going forward and have the confidence, or who are learning the steps to actually reach out and get those high-end diamond clients. Because the more that you are used to the diamond clients, the less you will accept all the bullshit from the bad clients, like the low paying clients or the red flag clients. And I think this is a big shift that happens for a lot of writers, is this perception. They feel like they have to earn their stripes. And it's, perpetuated for many years, but you don't. You don't. You don't need a ton of things. What you really need to do is understand what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and then you understand what a diamond client or a dream client for your specific business actually looks like. And then you start the process of reaching out, asking if they need help, moving forward on that, versus feeling like you have to start at pennies per word and work your way up, which is just BS. Okay, number five, number five. You want to have some kind of thing, okay, as you're working through some kind of strategy where you know how to set things up and then you also know how to troubleshoot. So this is kind of what I've seen across different courses or different types of workshops or things that are for freelance writers. They'll just tell you what to do, right? But they won't actually tell you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and how to troubleshoot. That is kind of a rarity tactic. This is something that I always teach my students. You have to know what to do. What are we actually doing? Why are we doing it? How are we doing it? And then what if everything goes wrong or if things are messed up? How do we troubleshoot it? What are our next steps to kind of figure that out? And I feel like this is something that freelance writers just get these like little pieces sometimes. So I don't know if you're like me. I've taken courses where someone's like, yeah, here's four pieces of the process, but you have to buy the next course to get them. And I just feel like that I've always taught like the process, you know? I've always taught like these are the things you need to know. These are like the 5 to 7 things you need to know, especially with the Wealth Lab where it's like, you know, past students have called it tactical, thorough, detailed, and comprehensive and action oriented. That's something where you're getting these things without overwhelm. You are getting clear step-by-step processes that feel doable, but you also have breathing room to work on the right things. And then let's say something changes or you want to do something with your business or you're not getting the results you want. I'm teaching you how to troubleshoot. So this is something that I think there is so much more to running a business than just what to do and how to do it. It's what to do, why are you doing it, how do you then do it, and then let's say things go wrong or you change your goals or you want to go after a different type of niche or client or project. How do you troubleshoot that? How do you take the next step? I think that's really important, and especially teaching you how to troubleshoot cuts a lot of fear, anxiety, stress, because you know, like, hey, if this doesn't work, I'll try this. If this doesn't work, I'll try this. If this doesn't work, I'll try this. You have a ton of different experiments. You have a ton of different options. I often talk about the kaleidoscope of options out there, but you are capable of that. You are capable of seeing those things together. You are capable of making choice or making changes in your business. And you are capable of taking this kind of initial process and then saying like, okay, I just need to make some tweaks. Here's some tweaks I can make. So a lot of times that when you're going through this, I don't want you to feel like you have to have like every writer that gets started has confidence. They don't. Every writer that's getting building a high earning business had all these clips and clients. They don't. They're not all fast writers. They're not all people who are just great at marketing or consider themselves like selling beasts. They're not people who, you know, are just naturally know how to do stuff. They've all learned these things from different places at one time. But I want you to know that you're able to take where you're at right now and make that transformation. You're able to build a business that you want on your own terms with the goals you have in mind and actually know how to troubleshoot things. And this is, I think, is the most important piece when you're going through a course or when you're learning about freelance writing business, because freelance writers survive, adapt, and thrive. We've been doing that for decades and decades and decades. You know, for hundreds of years, we have survived, adapted, and thrived as freelance writers. The landscape is always changing. There's no magic time where everything is just worse than any other time. Things are always changing, and our job is to solve that continually changing puzzle. That's what the troubleshooting is solving the continually changing puzzle. And for me, that also means staying up to date on like what's working and what's not. I'm always like bothering people about their business. What's working for you? Why is that working? What are you doing? So I think those pieces, I think you should really kind of focus on your ability to survive, adapt, and thrive, your ability to keep solving the consistently changing puzzle of being a freelance writer, and see it as a fun experiment rather than putting pressure on every little thing that you do in your business. You can do it. You can make that transformation. It doesn't have to be that everything is spring loaded with pressure or everything is difficult or you don't have this thing or you're stuck in analysis paralysis. Really changing those, there's a few things you can change in your business across, you know, money, across mindset, across marketing, across the strategy that you take in your business to build a concrete foundation and really feel confident moving forward. So I hope that this has been helpful. The next time we're going to talk a little bit more about moving into the math parts of your business. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more. So I hope this was helpful, and I will see you next time.